Of course, Mei Ling and Lestari are individual teachers, and there is no way that they are typical of all teachers in China or Indonesia. Far from it. In fact, they are the minority, the inspiring ones. And there is undoubtedly things in their own professional, in their own personal characteristics as well that make them teach in a certain way. So, for example, the fact that Lestari has been abroad and has had much more exposure to new ideas has had an impact in the way she teaches and how she tries to inspire learners. She's also much more experienced than Mei Ling. Maybe that has an effect. And Lestari was in touch with teachers' associations in Jakarta, actually working with American USAID, going to seminars regularly. She perhaps had the confidence to innovate in her practice, whereas Mei Ling was doing the conventional, she was teaching in a conventional Chinese way, but very well, very energetically, very diligently. So there are individual differences, of course, that lead them to teach in the way they do. However, so we can see that inspiring teaching takes many different forms. Mei Ling had things in common with the other Chinese teachers who we saw, and Lestari had things in common with the other Indonesian teachers, or at least two of the other Indonesian teachers. The fourth one was actually teaching in a very teacher-centered way, perhaps more conventional way. We've seen that it can take different forms. What I want to end with, though, as I feel we should, is to try to sort of generalize about inspiring teaching. Was there anything, we've seen two very different forms of inspiring teaching. We've seen in the results to the survey many, many different things that learners say about inspiring teachers. But can we generalize? Can we say this is the sort of essence of inspiring teachers? And Mei Ling and Lestari both had this quality. And I would suggest possibly there is, and I'm just going to show you another this is a very, very short clip, 1 minute, which I think possibly encapsulates this essence. You can guess which country this is? Can you? Well, the uniforms, I would suggest the uniforms indicate it. This is China. This is another teacher, not Mei Ling. We're just going to have a look at 1 minute segment from the lesson, which is mainly teacher-dominated from the front. But at this moment, she's got them working in groups on a task, and she's taken a group of boys from the back who'd had trouble with an earlier task, and is explaining something to them. And we're going to watch her.
很多个，但是同一个呢，就只有一种。OK， 所以呢，现在再来看看例子，再给你们机会想想，谁是指同一，谁是指同一个、同一类，哪一个指同类？对了，很好。同一个就用谁 ？That。同一物呢？同类呢就用谁 ？As。为什么？如果实在不理解，老师过会儿再解释，好吗？你们能理解的吗？有没有不能理解的？好。
同一类
句子里面的 as 具体要怎么用？是不是？好，蔡俊杰又提了个问题，那 as 怎么用？你告诉他，他刚才回答了问题，现在他又不会了哦。什么时候用 as？
它的 say 知道是它用，但是他们在句子里面用在什么地方？
它用在什么地方？
先行词的后面。
先行词的后面。是不是就是这样子啊？对 ，very good， 很好的回答。前面都有谁？或者是谁？
You might have picked out she was talking Chinese, obviously, or she's talking Cantonese? Mandarin, was it? Okay. She was talking Mandarin, but you might have heard a few English words there, as, and she very good at the end, yeah. And I've don't know what on earth they were talking about, but it was obviously the finer points of English grammar. And you could see how animated she was, and how the boys were listening to her avidly as she explained the rules of English grammar. What you could see there, I think, was a teacher who really cared. You know, she cared about her subject. You know, in giving those explanations, what she's doing is showing her love of English grammar even. And I have no doubt that those boys, whether they were understanding the rules or not, were picking up from her that love of English, or at least a sort of a deep respect for English grammar. And you know, the energy that she was putting into the explanation with these boys who were probably not the stars of the class showed that, you know, she cared about not just the subject, but conveying the subject, enabling others to grasp the subject. So, and we could see this quality in all the teachers we observed, and I think it underlies many of the comments that were made on the survey as well. Sometimes explicitly when they say that they were good teachers, they were diligent teachers, they were good professionals, but it also underlies their personal admiration. And through the personal relationships that the teachers had with the class, that they developed, they showed the learners that they care, as I said, and we saw that happening there, I think. And through their teaching craft, they make the learners care too. And that's where the inspiration happens. But of course, the teaching craft itself has to be made appropriate. You know, the teaching craft has to be made appropriate for particular context. And if a teacher can make it appropriate for the context, it maximizes the chances of learners being inspired. Of course, it's not guaranteeing that learners will be inspired, but it maximizes the chances. And that is all, I think, that we as teachers can hope, can aspire to do.